Now that is what lasts the longest in the heart. The feels, the story, the movement, and just the sequence of it all. Gosh.
Because in anime, motion is connected to emotion.
Yeah.
And the best scenes don't just show you the fight, they make you feel.
Animation versus choreography. Man, what a freaking title. Now I just saw this pop up on my screen on YouTube and oh man, I said, wow, what the hell is this? Why don't I check it out? So here we are. Now this was done by Unknown Clarity. The link is down in the description below. Let us see what this is all about. Alright, so for that, please don't forget to like and subscribe button. So without further ado, let's just hop right into this video. Onegaishimasu.
This is good animation.
Oh, that's good.
This is good choreography.
Okay, I don't know this anime. It's like what? Windbreaker? I don't know.
One because oftentimes either one can overshadow the other, making it feel like one entity. But there are key distinctions that make these two so obviously different. You're gonna realize you've been watching these all wrong. Well, maybe not all wrong, because this is exactly what some animators want you to think. With extreme budgets and long hours for animation, you can only imagine the stress and difficulty it takes to produce a masterclass fight like this.
I'm telling you. My gosh, yeah.
Is this fight mostly good animation, good choreography, or both?
This fight
just
was
because
so
it
good.
looks smooth doesn't mean the animation is good. And just because the animation is good doesn't mean the choreography is either. You have to ask yourself, what's actually happening on screen? Are we just watching some squiggly lines that look vibrant? Or are we watching two individuals trade punches in an impactful manner? To differentiate between the two, let's first define them. So what is animation?
Insane.
Animation is the art of creating the illusion of movement by displaying a sequence of static images or frames rapidly one after another. It's not just about making something move, it's about how it moves. Is it smooth? Is it visually appealing? Does it feel like
so much effort into this?
Everything else. Versus choreography, it refers to the careful planning and arrangement of movements, particularly in fight scenes, to create visually engaging and dynamic sequences.
I must say, present day animes really put a whole lot into the color effects of the animation over choreography. It's just very few that still maintains the whole choreographic appeal. But many years ago, like decades ago, it was based off of mainly choreography and less effects, because back then effects were hard to really do, unlike now that it's really just basically easier to do the effects than the choreography. So anyway, I prefer choreography to all those super freaking flashy colors though. You know, choreography gives a whole clear, really lovable pattern to it, while, you know, there's so much colorful effects just hypes everything up and instantly it's really not that deep if you just think about it. So yeah, let's go. Let's continue. Let's see.
So in simple terms, choreography is the design of movement with purpose. It's not just about two characters clashing, but more about tactics, emotion, and the story behind it. It answers the question, why are they moving this way? What are they trying to achieve? And how does each action change the outcome? Think of animation as a style and choreography as a substance. One without the other is just another element, but when used in tandem, can create visual art. So now that we know the differences, let's put them under the microscope. This scene broke the internet when it aired, and visually, it's insane. The flames, the threads,
so insane. But if you think about the choreography,
it's basically peak anime cinema. But let's pause and ask, what are we actually looking at? The animation is top tier, the camera is dynamic, the effects are dazzling.
I'll tell you, gosh, man, the effects just like kind of shut off your brain from pretty much thinking much at what's going on. You're just like, and then that's it. But if you sit down and think about it, you'll be like, what the hell was actually going on here? You know? Anyway, let's continue.
This slow-mo leap while the music swells is basically peak anime cinema. But let's pause and ask, what are we actually looking at? The animation is top tier, the camera is dynamic, the effects are dazzling, and the transitions are seamless. But strip away the flashiness and the polished design and really understand what Tanjiro is doing. He's not just slicing wildly, he's adapting, timing his breathing, syncing his movements with Nezuko and Tengen to pull off combos they've never done before. Choreography is telling a story about desperation, teamwork, and most importantly, survival. The animation makes you feel it, but the choreography makes you understand it. And if this scene was all flash and no meaning, just Tanjiro doing flips for no reason and swinging his sword senselessly, it wouldn't have hit the same. But because the motion matters, and every move pushes the fight forward, it executes emotionally and technically. With animation recently, there's been an influx of studios who produce at a high quality to keep up with the demand and compete with the top titles in the space.
Yes,
it used to be that only the best shows had the highest production, but now even comedy isekai got top tier animation. And for many popular shows, you tend to see the more generic copy and paste style that fits your typical anime. Until you're met with something like Demon Slayer, Dandadan, or even Blue Lock. Each of these displays a different style of animation that's unique to only their respective anime. And I know Blue Lock may be a bit of a head scratcher since the last season had extremely questionable slideshows, but they still cook when they need to. Towards the end of the season, they made up for the production team, but not just with the animation, the choreography as well. Many people categorize this as just really good animation, but these scenes are more than just visual dopamine hits. They make you feel something in a way that animation can't do alone. The final 2 episodes had textbook definitions of choreography. Rin losing his mind and going at it with his brother. Their movements
with the look of his eyes,
as well as who they were trying to become.
Seems like a zombie.
Rin moved, it wasn't just to win, it was to rewrite the old narrative of just being the little brother. He wasn't chasing the goal, he was chasing dominance. And the way his body moved with such sharpness,
everybody only like Naruto these days
reflected that. And then you have Isugi, who starts mirroring these movements as well. Not because he wants to follow Rin, but because he wants to consume him. And this is exactly the kind of layered choreography people miss when they're just focused on the flashy animation. The animation sells the flash with Izuki and his adaptive final goal, but the choreography shows the calculations of every step, every decoy, and every doubt in his mind, leading him to this exact moment. So can you imagine if you decided to stop watching because of the style of this season? You would have missed out on the best adaptation of a sport in the last 5 years. And I mean, animation styles can be the difference maker for whether or not someone shows for the show. I mean, you can have the best
look at the look on that guy's eyes
and power system, but if it's not visually appealing, nobody cares. Titles like T-Bait and Tower of God are excellent examples. Each of these manhwa have some of the best stories, even better than its more popular counterparts like Solo Leveling, but the animation is just piss poor. But Solo Leveling has executed the animation choreography combo flawlessly from its initial release. The story does not matter because it feeds that one thing the vast majority can appreciate: eye candy.
Eye candy, I'm telling you, gosh.
It's near impossible to think that something like this would not be popular, regardless of how much better the writing is. With that, it raises the question: can an anime have horrible animation but still have great choreography? Well, yes.
Yes.
The biggest titles are guilty of this formula. Naruto, One Punch Man, Berserk, and even Dragon Ball Super. With Naruto, there are certain fights
especially Naruto versus Pain. I was just about to say this.
They use creative movements, impact frames.
Oh man, the animation was so bad, but man, no one cared. Like, I really didn't care, man. The story back in this whole thing was insane.
Pausing and seeing horrible frames, the entire fight was camouflaged by the actual fighting itself. Just give it a second and it'll make sense. When giving the animators more room creatively, they use less polish and add more meaningful movement that will have a higher impact on what's actually happening on screen.
Exactly.
Because the truth is, clean lines are optional, but the clarity of the motion is not. Take One Punch Man Season 2 for instance. The budget took a nosedive. The frames got chunky.
But this fight was crazy good, man.
But if you watch Garo's alley fight, it tells a different story. The camera barely moves, the lighting's low, yet every dodge, sweep, and counter tells you exactly who's controlling the tempo. That's choreography carrying bad animation. The same deal with Dragon Ball Super's early episodes. Remember when Goku fought Beerus in space? The characters were wobbly, but the timing of each ki blast volley still sells Beerus testing Goku, forcing him to stretch further and further. Going from the movie to this was brutal, but understandable from a budget standpoint. There really is no point in spending money on something twice when you can get the same message across. And then there's 2016.
Nice
CGI nightmares aside, look at
CGI nightmare aside.
Arcs are deliberately huge so you can feel the weight. The camera cuts wide so you can read the spacing.
Why don't they just use 2D for this show? Like, it just looks kind of off.
Textures. So when dissecting the differences with animation and choreography, there are a few key takeaways. Read the intent behind it and not just the pixels. If you can follow and see the goal behind every movement, then chances are choreography is winning. And if it's much simpler but beautiful with unimpactful movement, then animation is winning. So the next time you're watching a fight scene and your thought is, this looks insane, pause. Ask yourself, is it just pretty? Or is it saying?
Well, you can't pause at that point, man, because you are just
style meets substance. You get the scenes that do more than just look good. You get moments that actually push the story and the characters forward. And that's the difference between a good and a great one. And once you start seeing it like this, you'll realize it's not just about what moves on screen, it's about why it moved. Because in anime, Motion is connected to emotion.
Yeah.
And the best scenes don't just show you the fight, they make you feel.
The feels, man. Come on. Okay. I want to hear that again. Seems like that part was copyrighted. I was trying to think what's going on.
And the best scenes don't just show you the fight, they make you feel.
They make you feel it. Like, looks like the music here was copyrighted and they couldn't isolate the music alone to remove it. Missing important audio here. Which show is this? Wow, that was lovely. Honored clarity. Truly, you made this very much clear and so freaking easy to understand. Wow, man, animation versus choreography. What a freaking well dissected topic, man. This topic, gosh, that has been on my mind a whole lot because, gosh, these days is just about a whole lot of flashiness and less choreography and meaning to what they are doing. But hey, we are just so star-stunned and just awestruck that we can't really think. Anyway, everyone is guilty of that these days though. But hey, if you just sit down to just look within, you can just see exactly what's going on and what is just really off, you know. But gosh, really well dissected, I must say, like everything. And I just wish and hope that we can get more strong choreographic anime battles because these days it's just on a downward trend and everybody's just super throwing off energy blasts here and there and they just splash colors and stun our heads out of thinking straight. And yeah, that's just basically it these days, and I just wish that we could continue on and keep the choreography going strong. Like you can see the likes of Kakashi versus Obito's fight and Naruto versus Sasuke's fights and whatnot. Like that is art. Like that is crazy art. There's so much emotions behind it, the movement, everything. Gosh, the fluidity and just how everything pans out really is a masterpiece. Like I just wish we could get more of that. And look at Sword of the Stranger too, how they use the terrains, their movement, everything, the flow. Oh gosh, like that is what lasts the longest, and the heart, the feels, the story, the movement, everything, and just the sequence of it all. Gosh, I just wish we could get more of that. Like you can actually just see it though too in One Piece of the past, especially the parts of from Sabaudi Archipelago to Amazon Lily. You could see how well the fights they were animated, the movements has the fluidity to it to some extent, alright, than how it is in present day. Present day now is just so much more colors and less strong choreography, although there's still some choreography in it, but they're just more super hype with the colors and whatnot. They just keep so on stunned and just going. But hey, the story still carries it all, you know. There's so much feelings behind all that and so much well-built story behind everything going on. So you can give that a pass. Alright. Anyway, I really love this video. Really deep, really well detailed and just well explained. But man, big kudos to the studios that do this. It's really not easy doing these battles, anime battles. Really crazy to do, man, with everything they show. Really props to them. Okay, I give them their flowers. And oh gosh, that of JJK Mahoraga versus Sukuna, that one was another crazy insanity. Though the animation was a bit very low, but man, the movement, everything that was going on was crazy, insane. I must say, really totally lovely. I'm done watching it at this point, but I'm not done editing and posting, okay, at this point. Alright, so just so you know, okay, I've watched it all, but still editing and posting, alright, so you see that shortly though. Man, oh man, I'll leave it at that. What do you guys think of this? Okay, tell me your thoughts in the comments. Alright, so I'll call it here. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and the subscribe button. And before I go, that of Naruto versus Pain was crazy, insane. Like the first time I watched that fight, I didn't think anything of the animation when Naruto entered the Tail Beasts mode. Like the story, everything, the emotions were just too much with what was going on, what had happened, everything culminating into all that really just overshadowed everything, and truly I didn't care what the animation looked like. I was just so so hooked to the battle and everything going on, and it was just crazy insane. But after we this land and just look at it, you'll be like, what the freak is this? Anyway, that'll be that. So I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Cheers.